All right, joining us right now is Tesla Uber bull, Cathie Wood, the founder and CEO of ARK Invest. Cathie, it's great to see you.
Thank you, Becky. Happy to be here.
Tesla is the top holding in several of ARK's funds.
Yes.
That continues to be the case?
It does indeed.
What have you thought about the news that we've seen? It seems like every week there's a new story that's either about Elon Musk or about Tesla. What do you think so far? What do you think of the Cybertruck? What do you think of the trial that just found that he was not guilty of defamation?
Well, if on the Cybertruck, we've analyzed it from many different angles, metrics, and it far surpasses other trucks. I mean, you saw the towing of the F-150. There was some doubt about the Cybertruck being, you know, the Uber truck that there
were even questions when they saw pulling the Ford F-150, saying because the slack was there, it gave the advantage to the car that started out.
Sure. Yes, we've done so. Sam Corris, if you look on Twitter, you'll see a number of charts that he's done comparing the Cybertruck to the F-150 and other trucks. There's just no comparison.
You think that this is I guess that's a point, too, though. It's not necessarily a fair comparison. You think it's going to be people who would have bought a Ford F-150, or is this a brand new market?
It's interesting. We did a Google Trends analysis of the excitement about the Cybertruck relative to the early days of the Model 3. And what we're seeing is the excitement is in the areas you'd want it to be, in the Midwest, in the more rural areas. So I actually think it's going to be a significant competitor to the F-150.
What has to happen next in terms of Tesla and its shares? What are the next things people are watching? Because they've had some strong earnings. They've done better than anticipated. There's a lot riding on this next quarter that comes up. But what are you kind of watching to say, hey, we were right, this is the way it's headed, and it's going to continue to go up from here?
Well, there are 4 barriers to entry that Tesla has, and I think now many more people are beginning to appreciate them. Their battery, the cost of their battery, much lower, so much lower than other auto manufacturers that these other auto manufacturers are going to have to sell their electric vehicles at a loss, or a higher price, or if they want to meet the competition, Tesla, they'll have to sell at a loss as they are losing their internal combustion engine business. So that's one moat. The second is their artificial intelligence chip. This is like taking a leaf from Apple's book, when Apple was pushing the smartphone market ahead much faster than Nokia, Ericsson, Motorola, it designed its own chip, and the rest is history.
What kind of market share do you think Tesla has to capture to kind of capture the kind of price that you've talked about over the years for where the stock could be? Well,
so we have our bear price. 5-year target is $700, and that would be if they lost 2/3 of their market share and had no autonomous.
If they lost 2/3 of their market share.
So going from 17% of global EV sales down to 6%.
And by the way, just so we're clear, you're measuring this on total EV sales. And you're considering that to be a separate market.
As the EV market grows, if their market share declines,
like Apple did,
right?
But Apple maintained 80% of the profits.
What did you say your price target would be in the bear case scenario like that?
$700, so a doubling over 5 years, which meets our minimum 15% compound annual rate of return.
But they have to. But you're saying as a total share of the EV market, not the total share of the automobile market.
Correct.
Okay.
So
it has to be 17%.
No. It's 17% now.
Yep.
And our bear price says they'll lose 2/3 of that, going to 6%.
6%.
Our bull case used to be that they would lose 1/3 of their market share, going down to 11%. We are rethinking that because they have been maintaining that 17% market share over time, and so it's quite possible that they could gain share.
Can you relate the EV market, total EV market, to the total automobile market? So if you were to take those numbers and translate them for us, what percentage of the auto market does Tesla have to capture for these numbers to work, if you think about it in that context?
Okay, so we believe that the EV sales in 2024 will be 37 million units. So that's more than 1/3 of total auto sales. And so if Tesla maintains its market share, I'd have to do the arithmetic. But I think the more relevant the statistic is percent of EVs, since that's where the market's going.
Right.
Right?
But what I'm trying to understand is, therefore, when this is all said and done, to the degree that you have to believe under your scenario, and I think largely everybody's scenario, that one day the entire automobile industry will be 100% an EV market. I'm trying to think through, what does that mean Tesla captures?
Yeah, we believe it could capture. We're evolving to the point of view that it could sustain this 17% market share. Yeah.
What do you think when you hear people, like, your bear case is that the stock more than doubles from here?
And our bull case,
but what do you think when you hear people who say, my bear case, there was the guy last week who was talking about it, my bear case is the stock goes to $10?
Well, I think they're ignoring a lot of realities. We've talked about the battery as a moat, artificial intelligence chip as a moat, their miles collected, real-world miles, which is what's going to feed the AI engine. They've got 14 billion miles. Google has 10 million miles. And still, Tesla is the only auto manufacturer that can do over-the-air software updates to change performance.
Very quickly, what automobile manufacturer in the world has the largest market share right now?
Well, I think you've got Toyota and Volkswagen.
And what numbers would you put them at right now?
They have
total market share.
Roughly, if I'm not mistaken, 10 million units each.
Okay. So what percentage of that would?
So autos are about between 85 and 90 million in terms of unit sales per year.
Okay. And then my last question, and their market caps.
Their market, to us, to me, that's not relevant, because Tesla is not an auto company, and it does not face the hurdles that they do in terms of trying to move to electric and move to autonomous. It's going to be pretty difficult.
Cathie, thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.